As we close on yet one more episode of Monday Night Raw, over on the road to WrestleMania, we must pause to reflect upon the stories that they've told. The sad part is they don't tell good stories this year. I'm gonna go very much over kind of a very cursory nod to this show because I was busy, and you guys will see the fruits of that labor probably tomorrow evening, as I've put together an episode of Bearded Vikings featuring my friends Baz and Kiora. Wonderful people. We had a great discussion. We actually sat and discussed memes in almost a philosophic sense, and I loved it. The opening contest was Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe versus Chris Jericho and Sami Zayn. Zayn and Jericho won due to the fact that Joe and Owens couldn't stop beating on them and got themselves disqualified. So, there you have it. Continuing to provide to them the fuel for being destroyers and being tough and being, just these angry men. Sasha Banks had a match that she won against Dana Brooke in a very, almost flippant, no real struggle kind of match. It was a squash. So, yet more opportunities to bury the women's division. Let's see. Enzo and Cass faced Cesaro and Sheamus, and both were disqualified because the club came in and kicked them in the face. They met Mick Foley in the back, and Mick Foley then turned around and made it a triple threat tag team title match at WrestleMania. I don't like this. I knew this was coming when they said, "Oh, next week, Cesaro and Sheamus will face Enzo and Cass." And my thought was, you only have three teams on Raw. You have two choices. You can either go ahead and feature a 5-star classic with Enzo and Cass being built up for the next couple weeks, or you can do what you're going to do, and that's bring every tag team of relevance into this match because you are uncreative. They went for option B. Apparently, throughout this whole night, Stephanie McMahon had tasked, bless you, had tasked Mick Foley with firing one person on the roster. Really. You couldn't maybe find a way to just go, hey, you know who we haven't seen in forever? Jack Swagger. He's not doing anything. He wants to get out of here. Hey, guess what, Jack? You're fired. Because real life, they let him go. They finally did. They put it on, it's official on WWE.com. So, Jack Swagger, now no longer part of the WWE universe. And I actually hope he goes somewhere like Lucha Underground, like Ring of Honor, like New Japan, and ends up becoming a megastar and just pushes it in WWE's face. Because they deserve that kind of shit. For all the things they've done to Swagger, for all the things they do to most of their talent that aren't you know, WWE made guys, and even he was. And they still, in my opinion, treated him wrong. Bayley had a match against Nia Jax. I didn't care. I was so not caring about this match that I actually went to clean my ears, because I haven't done that in a couple days. I can actually hear way better now. Let's see, what else? The Cruiserweights had a couple matches. I think Brian Kendrick and somebody else against Akira Tozawa. And it ended up being that Akira Tozawa and the other guy lost. You know, I think it was just pinfall. Let's see. Austin Aries makes his debut with a win. Again, nobody cares. I think that Austin Aries, as a character from the commentary team, was interesting at least, because he was kind of plotting something. You could tell the whole time he was thinking about something else. But that didn't get him anywhere. Roman Reigns faced Jinder Mahal. And my friends were still here during this match. I'm like, somebody needs to drug test that man. He is on steroids or something, because that is not natural. And Baz actually said this. He says, well, you know, I had friends who were bodybuilders, and what they would do is they would starve themselves for 6 hours before the meets, so that way their bodies, which have been tuned to, you know, really just burning as many calories as they can, start turning on themselves, and the muscles and the veins start coming out because the skin's tightening up, because they're burning, their metabolism is so high that there's no gas in the tank, and it's starting to quickly run on empty. And that's how that's one way you get that kind of look. Now, am I saying that he's entirely naturally that big? No, he's actually freakish big, and he shouldn't be looking like that. But then again, maybe he's doing the sort of thing like Brock Lesnar did, where he's doing steroids and all these other things, and mixing it with actual healthy exercise and diet, you know, aside from the steroid use. Who knows? Roman Reigns wins because even though they teased the gong hitting and the lights flickered, nothing came of it. And Jinder, you know, like popped him in the mouth. Well, HBK, Shawn Michaels, comes down to the ring after Roman calls out The Undertaker. He's like, basically, man, listen to me. I respect you. I'm on your side. But you have a long way to go until WrestleMania, and this guy is now set up shop in your head. He's playing mind games with you, man. You gotta let it go. You cannot let him do this to you. Roman said, I don't care. Basically, everybody's like, everybody thinks, what will you do when you're in the ring with The Undertaker? The Undertaker should be thinking, what will you do when you're in the ring with Roman Reigns? Fuck you. Fuck you, Roman Reigns. Fuck the character you're playing. Fuck the creative writers who wrote that. Fuck Vince McMahon for letting that run. Fuck Kevin Dunn for shooting it the way that he did. Fuck HBK for having to do that. I feel real bad for him. I really do. But fuck him for approving it. Fuck Mick Foley for not stopping this. Fuck Stephanie McMahon for, again, enabling this. Fuck WWE as a whole for not bringing back Finn Balor for any reason. Let's see. Who else deserves a fuck for this? But deep down, again, fuck Roman Reigns. Because you do not deserve that arrogance. You have done nothing close. You haven't even come to the shadow of close to what The Undertaker's done with his career. The men he's put over. The men he's buried. Sometimes quite literally. Fuck you. You don't deserve to say that. Braun Strowman comes down, bulldozes him. Because he's standing, Roman's standing at the top of the ramp. He basically bulldozes over Roman. And I gotta say this, and I noticed it almost immediately, and especially there at the end. I'm not sure Roman didn't hurt himself for real. I don't think Roman could sell... well, he sold that choke slam well enough, but I don't think Roman can sell moves all that well. And he was at the top of the ramp, tumbled backwards, kind of went down, but instead of going straight down like he was going back towards the ring, he actually kind of went off at an angle and landed between the barricade and the ramp. Wedged right in there. And I'm gonna say he hit an arm on the lighting that was right there, and maybe some of the cross brace that holds up the security gating. That could fuck him up. That could stop him quite easily from doing anything. That could be a torn tricep. That could be Vince McMahon's WrestleMania plans down the drain. Never wish harm on another person, but the arrogance kind of invites karma. You know? They announced that Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns will have a match next week. There's a backstage segment where the guy who's, taking Tom Phillips' spot, backstage doing interviews Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho says he's bringing back the highlight reel with the, quote, real Kevin Owens, end quote, and puts Tom Phillips on the list because he keeps calling the guy Tom Phillips. Tom Phillips kind of deserves to be on the list anyway. Final segment of the show. Oh, it was good. I liked it. He said that the person he chose to be fired was Stephanie McMahon. The crowd ate it up. They were chanting, yes. Foley, just going bananas over it. Triple H comes down after, Foley gets in Stephanie's face. Gets in Mick's face. They start going back and forth, and the lines that they traded there. Ooh. They were, oh God, they were great. It's like, this is a great segment. This is, I mean, they brought in reality. They brought in Mick's family. How one of his daughters works for the corporate, works in the corporate offices in Stanford. One of them's trying to break into the business as a wrestler. She wants to be a wrestler. And they're all coasting, they all have Mick to really thank for this. And then he tells him to get out of the ring. Instead of getting completely out of the ring, he goes into the corner. And I knew this was, I kind of saw this coming, but that's because the camera didn't cut away quick enough. And camera cuts to Steph. She's, you all should take this as a lesson. Go to your bosses in the morning, shake their hand, thank them for the opportunity to be employed. None of you are grateful. None of you realize how good you have it. None of you are worthy of being, she's really playing it up. And suddenly, Trips recognizes that Mick hasn't left the ring yet. Turns around and starts jaw-jacking him like, I told you to go. I told you to get the hell out of here. He turns around, Mick turns around, hits him with a mandible claw. Steph comes around and cup checks him, which sends him to the floor. Triple H is, slowly taking off the jacket, deliberately rolling up his sleeves. And Seth Rollins comes out. Seth Rollins hobbles to the ring. Hobbles to ringside. Crutch. He's got a brace on his knee. He drops the crutch like it's a microphone. Then runs into the ring, starts fighting Triple H. The bumps were very minimal towards him until Trips got thrown out the ring. When Trips got thrown out the ring, he grabs the crutch and starts using it as a weapon, cracking him across the leg, putting him in a figure four. It was... I'm going to say that's scary. I don't think that if he wasn't, progressing so well in physio, if he hadn't done so awesome that the doctors were like, no, you're doing amazing. This is unprecedented. We've never seen this kind of recovery time for anybody for this kind of injury. They wouldn't have let him back in. They wouldn't have let him take this risk. And I don't think he would have done it if he wasn't 110% sure about it. I don't think he'd have done it. That made the ending of the show passable. If I had to rate it, I think I'd give it a solid 6. It was good, competent, it continued where it was going, even if I don't like where it is going. It still built, and there's a chance to see some interesting matches. I forgot to mention Big Show squashing Titus O'Neil, and he made Titus look small. Did 3 choke slams for whatever reason. Did it. There's the review of that match. But no, it's a 6. It's not, epic, amazing, I need to watch every second of this, but it still had some good moments. Still had some stuff. There's nothing in there that you need to go back watch now, but still decent. I am Robert the Coroner Drap. Thank you for watching this crappily made cell phone video. Please like, comment, share right down here. And I will see you all tomorrow, hopefully, a little more rested with an episode of Bearded Vikings and a review of SmackDown Live. So, peace.